What's poppin', people? Welcome to the Bella Grind Podcast, a place and a space where we like to elevate the voices of Black women. Here we like to say it's go time. That means we go after our dreams, we go after our goals, and most importantly, we go after the bag. Today I have with me Cherita Kempson. She is the co-owner of Endulge Cupcake Boutique, and she has a phenomenal story. The theme of her story is courage, for how she even got into her business. So I can't wait to get started with you. Are you ready?
I'm excited.
Yay.
Let's do it.
Thank you for coming and joining me on the couch.
Anytime.
Y'all notice, y'all already see it. All month you're gonna see it, right? Because this is our month. We already claim it. It is our sisterhood month, and it is the month of January where we celebrate Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated all month long. So you're gonna see it. So here we go. Are you ready to jump into your story? All of the stories on my couch are unique stories. They are stories that are specific to Black women, and she has one as well. So with that being said, Cherita owns a cupcake boutique, which is in the East Atlanta community. Very chic, very cute. But there is a story of courage and preparation that I know of that is connected to this venture and how you even got into it. So let's start with the genesis of your cupcake boutique. Talk to me about that.
So we have been in the East Atlanta community for the past 10 years. February, we will celebrate 10 years.
Yes.
Before that, we were both in education. I was a media specialist, and my business partner was our school counselor.
Mm-hmm.
And when we first met 10 years prior to that, we always talked about business. That's all we ever talked about. Like, she was always like, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I want to do this. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And from time to time, I would chime in with her and try things. And so during about 2010 or so, cupcakes were huge. And everyone was doing it. There were TV shows on television and all that kind of stuff. And so I was like, oh, this seems really cool. And I baked with my aunt as a kid, and she dabbled here and there. So we were just like, oh, let's try it. Let's see if we can try all these different flavors that people make. So we would make cupcakes during the week. We would bring them to school on Friday. And everybody was like, oh my God, these cupcakes are phenomenal. We were like, really? We're just playing. We can't keep eating all these cupcakes. My kids were over it. It's like, come on, we don't want to eat all this. So we would bring them, and eventually people would start meeting us at the car. Like, what do you have today? And so we were like, you can't meet us at the car. School, we got to clock in. So you need to wait a minute. But anyway, we would take them, put them in the lounge, all that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of where it started. Just us playing around, trying something new. Yeah. And people really liked it. And so I think our first event that we did was a wedding for one of our coworkers. And it just sparked from there. It was just something that came naturally to us, and we loved it. And we were like, okay, well, maybe we could do this. When I started teaching, I said I would only teach 10 years.
Okay, because I was about to ask.
And I'm one of those people that's kind of like, okay, I said it. Let's do it. Let's try something else. Yeah. And so, I asked her, I said, do you want to quit? And so she was like, I'm scared. But at the time, both of our jobs were in question. And so, every so often you hear, oh, we might not need that. We might not need this. We might have to travel to different schools, and so I didn't want to do that. So I was like, let's try it. Nothing beats a failure but a try, right?
That's very true. So it sounds like you had already made up your mind then. Right. Because you said you were destined to quit after 10 years. Right. Just leave the field. Right. So did you have to really pull from courage, or were you just already there?
No, yeah. It takes a lot to decide that you are going to upend everything. Yeah. Right? My kids went to school with me, deciding if my husband at the time, if he was going to be okay with me quitting, was he going to be able to help support us? Because I knew that there was going to be a time when you know, I probably wouldn't have any money, you know? And so that was definitely something that I had to think really hard about. And I'm one of those people, I'm very prideful. So I'm not someone that will run to my parents and ask for help. Even though I knew they would be there if I needed them, that wasn't a thing. So it was like, I have to be able to do it on my own. And so, you know, I went to him, I asked him, and he was really cool about it. You know, he was like, okay. I'm like, this is what I can do. If you can do this, like, can we do it? Yeah. And I was like, okay, go for it. And so when we went to sign our resignation paperwork, I'm like, are you really going to do it? And so she was like, yes. I'm like, okay, well, you don't have to do it with me. We can do it separately. Just let me know. And so we did. And we never looked back. We never have.
And you all resigned at the same time.
We did. We resigned at the same time.
Wow.
We did. And it took a little bit because we wanted to be open the following August, right? Because those checks would be done. So like, we need to be open and making some money in August.
Yes.
But it didn't happen that way. You know, so that was a little bit of a hurdle. You know, even in the city of Atlanta, like even in the surrounding area, our faces still don't, you know, cause people to want to jump. Right? Okay. So when we would go into these corporate offices and talk about leasing spaces, and they're like, cupcakes? Yeah. Really? I mean, not that it wasn't 100 cupcake shops at the time, because really at that time there were a lot of them. But it was, I really think it was more so us. Like, so it's just like, really? I don't know. You know, and so it took a minute. We didn't open until the following February, just trying to find somebody who would even take a risk on us.
And when you say us, do you mean because you are Black women?
Because we're Black women.
And so you believe that is...
It was definitely a barrier, which I didn't think it would be here in a city with, you know, so many
predominantly
black people. But yeah, it definitely was a whole thing. And so finally, a really nice guy, he owns a lot of stuff in the city. He took a chance on us. He was like, fine, you know, let's roll. I think you guys will be great. And so we did. So it did take a minute, but yeah, getting over that, all of that took a lot of courage. Hearing a lot of no. We heard a lot of no.
How did y'all deal with that? Because you have to have thick skin.
You do. You do. It's just, you know, for us, I think both of us have a really deep spiritual background. So it would just be like, well, you know what? That place wasn't for us. That space wasn't for us. That area wasn't for us. When we find it, we'll know. And that's just how we kept it. We'll find it, we'll know. And so when she stumbled, my business partner actually stumbled upon this plaza. And so she was like, we need to check it out. There's an empty space. And I'm like, you think, you know? And it really was the best we could have ever. We could have never imagined it being such a great spot for us. It really, really is. The neighborhood has been so welcoming. I mean, from everybody, the police officers, just everybody in the community really holds us and protects us. And it just has been wonderful.
And it's a very diverse community.
It is.
Too.
It is.
I do remember that part, is that it's very diverse. I remember being there for an event and just watching the people that were walking in and out. It's like, they better... y'all better do it.
It is.
Y'all better do it. It's very diverse. But with that, so I'm going to go back a little bit. You all start off as educators. Education is very structured. Right? And then you all launch out here. You start this business. All you know is that I'm leaving after 10 years and I'm getting ready to put myself out here. You all start to take the necessary steps. How did you know what to do? Like, did you all just take the first step and learn as you go? You know, because like you said, you all really just was like, what do we want to do next? Let's do cupcakes. Right. Versus there being, you know, like some legacy story of, it was, you know, passed down.
Right. No, every day we learn something new.
Okay.
Every single day. Every city piece of paperwork we fill out. Every business loan application. Everything. We learn everything from scratch. Because this was not what we were, you know, what we went to school to learn to do.
That part.
And it's funny because we read several books, you know, getting started, like, oh, how to start a bakery, you know, Dummy's Guide to owning a business, you know, like all of that. And we laugh and say all the time, like, well, where is the real book? Because like this, all of the stuff that we read did not prepare us for what we had to come across. So it was definitely an adventure. It's always been a learning process. I don't think I'll ever stop learning. I don't care. Every single day we learn something different. We figure something out. We find a company that you know will fix this little problem that we have going on. I mean, it's always something. So yeah, we definitely we're out at the bottom of the learning curve, I think. I don't know. I think probably we're way farther than I want to give myself credit for, but it really is something that we just have to trial and tread and all of that stuff through every day. It's definitely something.
Or you all can write the real book.
Right.
What if you're the real book?
Right.
So then now, once you write the real book, there are others who now can purchase the information from you.
You're right. You're right. Because it's definitely, I don't know where it all is, but it definitely wasn't there for us. So, you know, I mean, every step took 30 tries. I'm not kidding.
Y'all will get to that one yes. Like, yes.
Right. Okay, we got it. Yeah, everything. I mean, we just got our first company vehicle, right? And trying to just put it in the company name took me like 15 tries to the DMV. I'm like, OMG, is it really this hard? Like, when I finally got it, I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Task accomplished. It took me 4 months. Okay.
And now you know exactly how to do it the next time.
Right. So, you know, it's just something new every time. I didn't grow up with a family full of people who necessarily own businesses. Now, a lot of people in my family have owned businesses, but different things. Oh, you cut grass, or you own a barbershop or a nail salon. So all that stuff is different, you know? And so it's just like to find one person who can tell you step by step is kind of difficult. I'm sure you've encountered it. Even asking other people who have a podcast and they say, and then you're learning something different on your own.
Every single day.
Right. Right.
I think the difference between you and I is, and I don't want to, if I'm, you know, minimizing any part of your experience, then say that. But whereas I really started this thing with like a large amount of fear, it sounds like you were already very sure that you were going to do something different. You may not have known what it was going to be.
I didn't.
But you were very sure after 10 years, oh, it's going to be something else.
Right. I kind of had a mark. You know, my parents are very traditional. They had me later on in life. I was the oops baby. The oops baby. They didn't know I was coming. And you know, so I got to see them as full grown adults. Like I didn't grow up with them. They were adults, you know. But in my house, growing up, my parents were like, oh, you know, I can do this or I can do that. Like they both taught school too. But my dad was very confident that he could do anything. Right. And so I think that was passed on to me that I can do anything. I can work at McDonald's. I will put together the best McDonald's, the Big Mac that everybody in town wanted. I can cut grass and I will learn how to be the best, you know, professional landscaper in town if that's what I'm going to do. So for me, it definitely was a lot of fear, but I knew that whatever I did, I would put my all into it. Yeah. And so I guess that was part of the getting over the fear. Like you're gonna do what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Just get past the initial, how am I gonna take care of myself? How am I gonna take care of my kids? If once I got past that, then it was like, okay, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You just can't live the same way. Right. So maybe you don't buy a few things this month. And maybe next month you buy even less. You just never know. You know, because you never know from month to month what may happen. And so once I got past that, then I was like, okay, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine. That is such a dope story. Now, how do you, because we are Delta women. Right. Y'all see it. Check it out. How do you empower other women? Right. So you have this wonderful journey and you've learned all of these lessons. And y'all are out there now, like you are, like you said, well received. But how do you empower other women?
I think by being honest. By being honest, by being willing to talk about it. Yeah. I think a lot of times, you know, it's funny. I was talking to someone not long ago, and I was saying, you know, sometimes you run into people who have a lot, right? They're running 2, 3, 4, 5 businesses. Yeah. They're making lots of money from what you can see. And you ask, how do you do that?
Candy birds.
How did you do this? How did you put all this in place, right? Right. And then you get these vague stories like, oh, but God, you know,
that part.
And, you know, and oh, it was hard work and determination. And oh, my family and you're like, okay, I need on paper, step 1, step 2, that's not helping me. You know, so I think for me, it's my ability to empower others is to really tell my truth. Yeah. And all of it, the good, the bad, the ugly, I don't care. Yeah. It doesn't embarrass me to tell you that one month we might have made $10,000 and the next month we made $2,000. That does not embarrass me because it is what it is. Yeah. I can't change it. Yeah. It just happens that way, you know? And so for me, just to do that. So like we had a tea shop that came in about 4 years ago, I think now. And funny enough, a lot of people said, oh, the space is so big, you know, we could share it with you. You know, we should share, you know, we could come in, we could help you guys with the rent. And I'm funny about people. And so for me, it was, when you come and say you can help me, how do you know I need help?
Right. Did I ask you for it?
Did I ask you? I didn't find you. You found me. And now you're telling me what you could do for me. You haven't even started. You don't even have a proven product. How are you going to help me? Right. You don't know that I need any help. And so those people always turn me off. Like, I'm not interested. But when they came, it was, I don't know. I think we have something that I think people are like, and they would need. And I've done it out of my house, and it was an aunt and her niece. And, you know, the niece said, I've loved this all my life. And I think we could really spread it. Everybody would love tea, the teas that we offer, and we blended these certain ways, and we talked and we meshed, and, you know, and so that was another way that we helped to empower people. Lots of people have come through our door and said, I want to start a cupcake business. You know, I want to have a kiosk in the mall. Will you help? And we've told them everything we know. Whatever questions they ask, we answer. Yeah. We've sat down with them, even though they say, oh, we want to have cupcakes. It's not competition for me. It doesn't feel that way for me because there's a Walgreens here and a Rite Aid there. There's a CVS here. And, you know, so true. And so everybody seems to be able to make it. But I think in our community, a lot of times we want to keep information because we think if we keep it to ourselves, that then I'll be the only one to know it. Someone else is going to tell them. They're going to find out. So you might as well do your part to help. And so I think that's just how I feel about it. How I feel about empowering women. Just do it. Just
and that's commendable.
Right. We have to help each other.
Yeah, we do. We do. And a lot of us don't. But that's another, you know, podcast. Right. But I admire that about you. Like being willing to give the information and not feeling like it's competition for you. And I believe that because you are giving in that way, that's why it keeps coming back.
I think so.
To you all.
Right.
Like real talk. That's why it keeps coming back to you because you're extending the blessing and it just comes back to you. That's so dope, Cherita, because that doesn't happen all the time now. People. Everybody's not willing to give you information and give it to you for free. Although I do want you to find some parts of that and monetize it because that y'all have learned some real lessons you know, you can monetize and share with the people. Right. But I just love that there are parts that you can give to get people started and motivated. Right. That makes you dope, sis.
Definitely.
So we're getting ready to go through this fast round. Okay. Way it works, I'll say, it'll be a question. It might be a phrase. Okay. And you tell me the first thing that comes to your mind, and then you have to tell me your why. Okay. Are you ready? I might add one because I saw one earlier that was kind of dope. But I always start off with this one. Is it easier for you to start a habit or break a habit?
I would say start.
Tell me why you say start.
I think I drag my feet a little. I'm a huge procrastinator. So
are you?
I am.
Okay.
And so to start something, I have to have some serious motivation. And there's not a lot of things that motivate me. It has to be within. So it can't be like, oh, it's $100 at the end. I'm like, whatever. You know, it has to be something I like. So if it's, like for my daughter and I, my son went off to school. And so it's like, oh, I really want to try and do something just with her. Like, let's just do some things together. So I was like, oh, we'll do brunch once a month. Like, so things like that motivate me. It motivates me, I think, if I'm helping someone else, not necessarily that I'm helping myself. And so I think that's the part about that it takes me a long time to start. It's like, oh, I can do that for me later.
Okay.
But someone else, it motivates me. So, that's it.
Okay. She said, yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Okay. That was a good one. You make cupcakes for a living. But what's your favorite junk food? Because if I were making, I know for a fact that if I owned a cupcake boutique, I would probably never want to eat one.
Right.
Ever again in life. That's how I am.
Right. Me too. And I hardly ever eat them.
Yeah. I can't even eat Burger King. It was my first job. Cannot eat it.
Right. Okay. So we're in the same boat. Okay. So gummy bears is my favorite junk food.
Okay.
Any kind of gummy bear, worm, any gummy.
As long as it's gummy.
I'm all over it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I have to try to keep myself from. But
have you incorporated gummy bears into any of your cupcakes? No,
we haven't, and I never will. Because if I do, then I'll eat most of the gummy bears, and they'll never make it to the cupcake.
To the cupcake.
So no.
Very good. That does make sense. Yeah. Okay.
Like I started making cookies, and I can't make oatmeal raisin cookies because I will eat them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are those just one of your favorites?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So see, things that I like, I have to keep away from me.
See, the message is know thyself. You have to know yourself.
That's right.
That's the message. Know yourself.
That's right.
Okay, finish the sentence. Sisterhood is
love.
Ooh, Cherita, tell me more.
It's love. I mean, growing up, watching my sister's a member of the illustrious Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. That's right. And so I remember going to her probate show in 1987, winter 1987, UGA. And I was sitting in the front row, long pigtails, had my little red sweater on. I just knew I was cute.
Yes, you were.
And watching my sister and her line sisters was amazing. Yeah. It was amazing to me. And I was like, when I grow up, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. And so just to see her kind of move and watch them grow up together and learn and start new jobs and all of that, it was just amazing to see. And so, and they loved me. So, whenever I see them even now, like they love me. And so that was really great. And then when I got to West Georgia and I decided, okay, I knew what I wanted to do, so it wasn't a decision.
That's right.
But anyway, and I just remember meeting my line sisters for the first time, and to this day, almost 22 years later,
I can't believe that. Cherita's my Neo, y'all. Cherita is my Neo. I can't believe
almost 22 years.
And we brought y'all through 22 years ago,
right?
I won't even say how long I've been in this sorority. Won't even do that today.
Right. Well, 22 years later, we're still loving on each other.
Yeah.
I mean, and so, it's definitely love for me.
Yeah. Aww. I like how fast you said that. Sisterhood is love. Did y'all see how fast you said that? But that's so true, though.
Yeah, definitely.
That is so true. That's what makes it worth it. A lot of people always say, well, y'all paid for that sisterhood. And but if you knew what I knew about the experience and what it takes to get to that type of love. Right?
That's right.
The work that it takes.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
It is.
It's certainly worth it.
Definitely.
What would you say to any woman who is watching you right now on the Bella Grind couch, who is looking for that courage to just get out there? A woman who needs to be so sure of herself like you are of yourself. What would you say to her? What message did your dad and mom give to you that you can pass on to them?
Right. So I would say definitely my mom would always say, the decisions you make today will affect your tomorrows. And so I really ordered my steps in that manner. So I would definitely say that piece of advice has stuck with me since I was a little girl. And for my dad, like I said, he just always, I'm sorry.
That's okay, girl. That means that daddy. See, that's what When a girl has a daddy, I always say it.
My dad passed in January. So it's almost a year. So it's a little touching still. He taught me that I could do I could do anything. And even though he didn't talk much, he was not a talker. He was not, you know, the hugger, the lovey daddy, you know. But he was definitely one that gave you all the rope. Yeah. And then if he needed to reel you back in, he would. He would
reel you back in.
But he definitely made me fearless in that manner that I knew he would be there.
Yeah.
You know, even now. Even now.
Yeah. He's with you. Look at the legacy, though.
Right. And so, courage. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. I mean, what else is there to do except for to try the thing that you really want to do? I always wanted a business, so do it. Just do it. Because in the end, you look back and you go, okay, well, I didn't do it, but what? But what? You know, you either fail or you don't. You either win or you don't. You know, and so it's just, you just have to do it. Just step out there on faith. Know that God's got you. And you move on. That's it. And so every day, that's how I wake up. Like, hey, today is a new day. It's even better than the day before. Yeah. And so, you know, that's just how you have to do it. I mean, we've had tons of employees come through, little teenagers, and we've helped them mold, and we're still teaching. Yeah. You know, we're still teaching, helping direct them the path to take and what you should do next and all of this kind of stuff. And I mean, so yeah, just do it because you will still impact people. They will impact you. You just do it. Just, there's nothing else. Just do it. I know it takes a lot. Yeah. It takes a lot. It takes a lot for a lot of people to be like, okay, I'm going, but what if? Let go of the what if. The what ifs will keep you right where you are. Just let go of them. What if you don't do it?
That part. Ooh, that
what
part.
If you don't do it and you could have been? What if you don't do it?
That's that thing where they say, what if you fly? When it's like, oh, but what if I fail? But what if you fly?
But what if you fly?
Yeah.
You don't know until you've tried.
Yeah.
And you have to try.
Yeah.
You have to try. And you can start small. You don't have to start big. We didn't have to just jump out there. Yeah. You know, but for us it was, we couldn't really straddle the fence. We felt like it would be too difficult to try and be full-time educators because both of us, even though we are very fly by the seat of our pants, kind of, sort of, we still like to know that we're doing our best. So if I'm trying to do a full-time cupcake business and work every day, I'm not, something's gonna fail. Yeah. And so we didn't want that to happen. So it's like, okay, we both have degrees. We both have these certificates. If we need to use them again, we will. Yeah. But mine expired, so I guess I won't be using it.
that might be a good thing because now you
I didn't even worry about renewing the thing. I was like, oh well, it expired, so
yeah, it is what it is. Now you just out here, sis.
I'm just out here flapping along. We'll see what happens next, right?
You got to stick with it.
Right.
It's got to make you stick with it.
Right. That's right. And it doesn't. And the thing is I know I'm not finished. Yeah. So I have other ideas, other things that I want to do. She does, and that's gonna be the next thing. Okay, let's do that, and then it's been 10 years. I think I might have a 10-year itch every 10 years.
Where it start to look a little.
You know, like
I can't believe it's been 10 years already for Endulge. That's so what's up.
Don't get stuck. I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we think that we have to do something the rest of our lives. We don't.
You just spoke to me just then, sis. That word was for Jan.
Right. We don't.
We don't.
Step out there. Do something different.
Well, I am. Bobby over here he sort of pushed me off the cliff. Him and my cousin in Landis, like, fly, girl, just fly. And I was, started looking down, and they were like, and look up. And
that's right.
Here we are.
That's right.
Here we are.
That's right.
Your dad is a dope spirit because I can see it and I can feel it through you.
Definitely.
And he left such a gem with you. And kudos to you for continuing to carry that on as his legacy. Yeah. He's proud. He has to be proud. So
I know.
Yay! Tell us how we can get to Endulge Cupcake Boutique in East Atlanta. Where's the address?
Definitely. We're at 749 Moreland Avenue, Suite A, 101. We're in a little plaza with little Azio's Pizza and Pasta on the corner. So we're at Indulgers on Instagram.
Okay.
And we do cakes and cupcakes and cookies, and we can do a whole dessert table for you. We do corporate events and all of that. Matter of fact, we have one Tuesday. Yay.
Yay. See, all the things.
Right?
All the things.
So look, Corona has been both good and bad. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. You know, what the rest of 2021 and going into 2022 has to offer us. But definitely come by and see us. We'd love to see you.
Well, I am for 2022. I am praying prosperity for you and for your partner, your co-owner. I just see Endulge doing what it needs to do and giving what it's supposed to give for you all. And then whatever your new shift is, because you got the 10-year itch, whatever that is, I pray that God is going to be all over it and that it too will come to fruition for you and continue to bless the people.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thank you for joining me on the couch. Thank you for representing DST in the way that you represent DST. Thank you for being a Black woman, and thank you for making me proud to be a Black woman. I am very proud of you.
You're making me proud too.
Well, thank you, Cherita. From big sister to little sister.
Right.
And with that being said, we are out of here. Remember, act like a lady, think like a boss, and stay on your beautiful grind.
Do you have gum in your mouth?
Nope.
You lying.
I don't. What if I hide it at the roof of my mouth?
Because you might mistakenly chew it.
You finna get that damn paper and...
I got it, sorry. Damn.
Okay, it's a paper towel in the kitchen.
You see I'm about to get up. You go politely hand it to me like a kid.
Every time she had gum.
That's funny.
His big sister, inquisitive.
Did you just put some more candy in your mouth?
She do it every time. Take the gum out.
What did he just make you take?
You know what? This is your podcast. Let's go.
That means he's done with me.
Let's go.
Now you gonna talk with that in there?
We ready? Next up on the Bella Grind podcast, I have with me co-owner of Endulge Cupcake Boutique, Cherita Kempson. She was delayed. Was it delayed?
It's cool.
Shit. Okay, this is the last one because we got to get to the damn podcast.
Okay. You never did this many.
We haven't. That's what I'm like. This is it right here. Whatever it happens, happens.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go.